Hi everyone, this is Penny here from Whack-A-Witch Astrology, and today, although I'm an astrologer, I am here to tell you about the numerology of the alphabet. Today's letter is the letter M. M is in the middle of the alphabet. It's the 13th letter out of 26, and middle starts with the letter M. I think someone probably did that on purpose. Not only that, but the shape of the letter M also has like a very kind of clear middle, and it has these arches, and it has this sense of bringing things together. So people whose names start with the letter M, they're in the middle, and they're bringing things together. They're very good at including people, making people feel welcome. They don't really hold a lot of prejudices. And I think part of the reason for this is because usually at some point in life, probably more so early on than anything else, people whose names start with the letter M often feel like they are alone. So since they're alone and they're just this one person, they kind of take it upon themselves to create something that is more inclusive, that can include a variety of people. You know, they like to have creative hobbies and creative kind of like eclectic but small groups of friends, and them being in the middle, they can serve as kind of like a bridge to bring people together, to lessen the divide between what would normally be opposing forces. And with this, they have the ability to create this really strong foundation, and they have great potentials for leadership. But they're not the type to lead by being domineering or by bossy. You know, domineering might more so be the letter D, because M is the third letter of the word domineering, and the letter that comes first is the letter that takes priority in the energy of the name or word. So dad, domineering, those are D words. I'm not trying to say you're domineering just because you're a dad, but you get it. And then mom, mother, matron, matriarch, starts with the letter M. So it's a much more nurturing type of thing. And I'm sure we'll get more into this, and a lot of what applies to the letter N will also apply to the letter M, because they're shaped very similar, and M is almost just shaped like two N's, really, or the capital version, it has an extra line. So the energy, the creative energy of the number 3 is very prevalent in the letter M. And they're even kind of shaped similarly, but just kind of rotated at different angles, and, you know, maybe the arches are in slightly different shapes. But this creative energy is there, this ability to create something, and then also having the leadership skills, having the kind of backbone, having the strength to be able to support the groups of people. And the kind of people you support, you know, they might be very creative types, very imaginative types, almost like they have like childlike minds, but they're not able to support themselves on their own. So you might end up finding a lot of people like this in your life who have like these like really beautiful, intriguing qualities about them, but they need structure. They need someone to put down their four walls and make their foundation and be like, okay, you know, this is how we adult. This is how we make and follow the rules, and we take the trash out every day, and we make sure that our lives are taken care of so that we can be good and healthy, and we can have something that can continue to exist for tomorrow, because we can't just be all up in our heads all the time. So people whose names start with the letter M are really great at grounding people who have very creative and unconventional types of minds, and also they have that great ability to not be judgmental, to meet like really weird people who would usually be chastised by society, and accept those people and be open-minded rather than being up on their high horse. You know, even when someone whose name starts with the letter M, because they're so resourceful, they're so practical, they're good at creating foundation and stability, so they'll probably achieve decent success in life, They're not necessarily going to be a millionaire just because millionaire starts with the letter M, but, take that inspiration, if you will. But they are at least going to be responsible, even from a young age. They're not here just to waste time and hope that someone else will pick up the slack. They will take it upon themselves to be the leader, to be the first one to lay things out so that more people can come and sit with them and be with them. So they're going to achieve some level of career success. And they might not be like the most ambitious people in the world. They might not be like, I got to make a big name for myself. I got to get like all the attention. But they at least want that really strong foundation. If they, for example, have a name like Madonna, which starts with M and then A. A is for ambitious. So you can watch my video for the letter A and see how that changes the effects of the name. And Madonna, she's one of those like M people who is like, oh my gosh, I want to achieve like the biggest success possible. I want to be memorable. I want to be an icon. I don't ever want to die. And I do think she has like a sort of maternal image. Even before she became a mom, she had this message of just, go to the beat of your own drum, and it's okay to be different. And she was good at making like a lot of different types of people feel included, especially since like when I don't feel like she's done this as much in recent times, but like when she first became famous, she was like dressing like really weird. Like she was like just like safety pinning her clothes together and stuff, and people are kind of looking at her like, oh, what's going on? Like she looks like she like just got out of bed and was trying to make it to a dance class, but was like running late. And I can relate to that because sometimes I want to look like that too, but then I try to make myself look better. And it's like a force for bringing people together. And she does have like a lot of music that you can tell I'm a big Madonna fan, huh? That is about like world inclusion and putting differences aside and helping your neighbor and seeing beyond like the trivial material things that we get caught up in. But material, M-A, that happened too. Maybe that's why the song Material Girl happened to Madonna. So M people are concerned with the material. It's just kind of inevitable. So because of that, they'll create this foundation for other people. They will have decent success in their career. But even when they get up there, even when they start getting that success, a lot of people become very pompous. They start looking down at other people and they're like, oh, why couldn't you get up here with me, huh? What's wrong with you? Why are you being a wimp? Why are you not working as hard as I did? And it can really go to their head. M people, from what I see, they pretty much like never do that. I know, especially since I mentioned Madonna, people are going to be like in the comments like, no way, that's so not true. I totally don't see them doing it. They can still speak to people who are like living on the streets, living in poverty, people who have very rough circumstances, maybe even people who've had to do some illegal things just to be able to get by, that, a lot of people would just judge them for that and look down on them for that. People whose name starts with the letter M, they don't usually do that because they understand that everyone needs nurturing. Everyone needs that foundation. And I think that's part of the reason why they create it for other people, is because they're so worried that people aren't going to have it. They're worried that they themselves aren't going to have it, because at some point I think it hits them and they know what it feels like to feel alone and to feel like they have no foundation to exist upon, and then they decide, I don't want anyone else to feel that way, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure no one else has to. And Madonna, I'm not saying she's like the only celebrity who does this, but she did go to other parts of the world, and she still talks to people who aren't, upper class or whatever. And I've even read some stories about, her lying in bed with a friend who had AIDS and was dying, and essentially did end up dying. And she never distanced herself from those people. She's paid for a lot of friends of hers to go to rehab. And the thing is, like, M people want what is best for the people around them. They want to be able to take care of them. They want to be able to nurture them. And sometimes they'll make them seem kind of like a hard ass. Like they have a spot where they draw the line and they won't let you just keep slacking off, because it to some extent it is kind of like they're everyone's mother. Like they're mothering all their friends, they're mothering everyone around them, and your mom really doesn't want to see you not being your best. And she's still going to love you unconditionally and give you that nurturing and everything, but she's going to lay down the law. And that is what M people do. And I know probably someone watching this, maybe even someone whose name starts with the letter M, is like, well, my mom wasn't really in my life. That makes perfect sense, because that's why you had to like become sort of like a motherly figure. But anyway, I have a lot of respect and appreciation and gratitude for people whose names start with the letter M. I think there's a lot of really great people with this name. Go ahead and post in the comments below any names that you know of, or your own name that you have that starts with the letter M, and any words that start with the letter M that you would like to share as well. And go ahead and check out the rest of what's on my channel if you're interested in hearing about the rest of the letters or anything in relation to astrology, and let me know what you would like to see next. All right, stay tuned. Bye, guys.